I was at a fermented food symposium where I was helping out, and a few people from Brenntag were at this convention and was talking with them back and forth, and they actually ended up creating a food-focused sales internship program. This was the first of its kind, hadn't really been done before, but my job was to identify the food business in Virginia. And then from that internship, that turned into a full-time sales trainee job, which then turned into a official sales rep position, and now a food-focused sales rep. So my title as a food-focused sales rep is kind of a one-two. You service industrial accounts in addition to the food industry accounts. So as a sales rep, you're given a local geographical territory. I cover southeastern North Carolina, and pretty much selling the customer's products to develop their business. So we sell all raw materials, raw commodities for our customers to make products with, to either go direct to the consumer or as intermediates to go to someone else. So training for this job, as far as the science, technical understanding, a lot of those you got in your hard sciences, your biochemistry, your organic chemistry, understanding the molecular structures of a lot of these chemicals or ingredients. The sales training, a lot of that was utilized when I was working at GNC selling supplements. It was more of a smaller sales cycle, retail based, but it gave you a lot of exposure to the food, nutraceutical supplement industry. And then in regards to the role that I'm currently in, a bunch more was on the job training. And that was understanding the marketplace, understanding the nature of distribution, the nature of supply chain management. Let's say a standard day, if you want to say an ideal day, would be to wake up early and check your email, see if there's any emails you've gotten from customers beforehand. Also look at your numbers the night before, see where you stand month to date. And then you have already set up meetings in advance, so you drive to see your customers and have meetings discussing new business opportunities, business we've been working on, checking in to see how their business is going, if there's been an increase, how does that affect the raw materials, any new projects, any new products they're looking to sample, any special instructions that they might have, just to better service the customer. So the current role that I have as a generalist for the food accounts, you can really utilize a little bit more of nutrition science, and food science. The food science aspect is one that's going to be at the forefront because you're able to communicate with your R&D technical individuals and have a very specific conversation as far as how their products are being used. Are they using acidulants, humectants, flavor enhancers, dough leavening agents? Are they using any preservatives? What is their sodium content? If they're worried about clean label issues, are they worried about non-GMO statements? Are they worried about a GRAS approved product? And so to understand a lot of those products already from nutrition, food science, you're able to bring a whole lot more to the table. After graduation, I was able to learn that I had the ability to learn a lot more business lingo and understand and make a calculated business decision to complement the science background that I was given. So the biggest accomplishment as a macro standpoint would be having a territory, growing the territory organically by seeking out new business, but also capturing a lot of lost business that we have had. And in addition to how the market will swing upwards and downwards, we hit an upwards trend, so you're really able to benefit the company and have a monetary a value pretty much to your job. So you're providing a service rather than just being overhead. One thing I would have definitely done differently in college as a nutrition science undergrad would be to utilize the resources we have, specifically in the Poole College of Management, to take a few business courses as far as introduction to marketing or just intro to business, kind of your 100 level freshman courses, just to get a general understanding. Really invest in an internship and multiple internships if you can. But it does a few things, and one thing it does is, yes, it gives you experience. You get to understand life outside of the classroom. If you're working on a project, it's going to be applicable. It has noticeable effects. You're making an impact. You're making a difference. You're not just fulfilling an assignment and turning it in. So having that real-world experience would be beneficial, but also interning at multiple companies, if you're able to understand the different company cultures. And that gives you a whole lot more exposure to that realm. So when you go to interview, when you have those interviews for outside of college jobs, you're able to understand a lot of companies work a little bit differently. How does this one work? And is this something that I'm very comfortable with working at a place like this? And so advice to students would be to just reiterate what a lot of your professors are saying is get an internship, try to get multiple internships, but really start growing your network. I'd say as a freshman or sophomore. Get a LinkedIn if you don't already have one. Really put a lot of information on there, have your resume polished and ready to go, and you can build some of those connections along the way. So that once you graduate, you're graduating with a plan rather graduating in a panic.